Argentina were leading 3-0 against Algeria. The 87th minute victory was a foregone conclusion. Messi had already left to a standing ovation. And then De Paul intercepted a pass, thumped the ball into the stands, glared at a young teammate, and twice barked out the mantra that has come to define his game. 3-0 up, 87th minute, and he is still thumping the ball into the stands and demanding more. That moment caught on camera, replayed millions of times, tells you everything about Rodrigo De Paul's psychology in a single image, not the goals, not the assists, not the Copa America winner's medal, or the World Cup final appearance. That moment, in a match that was already won, when most people would have relaxed, he refused. And that refusal, that complete psychological inability to coast, to settle, to accept good enough, when better is still possible, is the foundation of everything he has ever built. What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to PsyWealth, Richie. Today we are covering someone whose psychological story I think is one of the most underrated on this channel, because Rodrigo De Paul is not a player who produces the highlight, real moments that generate millions of views. He produces something more valuable and more rare: consistency, intensity, the specific quality of never switching off, never accepting that the job is done, that makes him the heartbeat of the most successful international team of his generation. If you are new here, subscribe now. Let's get into it. Rodrigo Javier De Paul was born on May 6, 1994, in Sarandí, Buenos Aires, Argentina. He grew up in a working-class neighborhood. He came through the Racing Club Academy. He moved to Valencia in Spain as a teenager, then to Udinese in Italy, where he spent 5 years developing into one of the most complete midfielders in Serie A, then Atletico Madrid. Then the Argentina national team became his stage. And what he brought to that stage, the relentless energy, the leadership, the specific mantra that he barks at teammates even in the 87th minute of a comfortable victory, is something that money and talent alone cannot manufacture. De Paul's qualities are the product of a specific psychological orientation toward his work that most elite athletes never fully develop, the orientation of someone who genuinely cannot accept that any moment of any game is not worth giving everything to. De Paul said before Argentina's game against Cape Verde at the 2026 World Cup tomorrow, so game is the last one. That's how I'm looking at it, and I'm going to do everything I can to make sure it isn't the last one, and that there are more to come. That's my mindset. Tomorrow's game is the last one. That is not a motivational phrase for De Paul. That is a literal description of how he processes every single match. He does not think about the tournament. He does not think about the next round. He does not think about what comes after. He thinks about the game in front of him as if it is the only game that will ever exist. The last one, that's psychological. Narrowing the deliberate compression of all attention and all energy into the single present moment is one of the most powerful performance frameworks available to any human being in any high-pressure situation. Because when every game is your last game, you cannot afford to coast. You cannot afford to relax with 3-0 up in the 87th minute. You cannot afford to treat any moment as less than the most important moment available to you. De Paul cannot afford it. And so he thumps the ball into the stands and barks the mantra and keeps going. Here is what Argentina's coach Lionel Scaloni said about De Paul. He said De Paul is a midfielder who has it all: skill, vision, and leadership qualities. He's a true asset to any team. And his teammate Nicola Otamendi said when Rodrigo is on the pitch, you can sense the energy and enthusiasm he brings. He's a true leader, and his presence makes a big difference to the team's dynamics. Two different people, two different descriptions, both arriving at the same word: leader, not scorer, not playmaker, not the most technically gifted leader. And that specific quality, the ability to set the psychological tone of a team through your own energy and example, is one of the rarest things available. Delete sport, because it cannot be coached, it cannot be bought, it cannot be faked. It is either present or it is not. De Paul has it in a form that makes teams around him perform better simply because he is there. His energy is contagious. His intensity is contagious. His refusal to treat any moment is less than everything is contagious, and that contagion, that spreading of psychological intensity through a team is the most valuable leadership contribution available to any player who will never be the most famous name on the pitch. Here is where De Paul's psychology reveals its most human dimension after Argentina's loss to Spain in the 2026 World Cup final. He said the greatest pain comes from the fact that we couldn't bring the World Cup back to our country. Once again, because if anyone deserved to experience that feeling again, it was all of you. That statement, the greatest pain is that we couldn't give this to you, is the psychological signature of someone whose motivation is genuinely collective. He is not talking about his own pain, he is talking about the pain of not being able to give the fans what they deserved, that orientation toward the collective emotional experience rather than the individual achievement is exactly the psychology that produces the 87th minute intensity, the thumping of the ball into the stands when 3 goals ahead. Because for De Paul, every moment of every game is not about his individual performance. It is about giving the people who believe in this team the maximum possible chance of experiencing what they came to experience, and that collective motivation, that genuine care for what the result means to the people watching produces a quality of sustained effort that purely individual motivation rarely generates. Here is something about De Paul's psychological framework that I think is the most practically instructive element of his story. His journey to the World Cup final has been marked by setbacks and disappointments. However, he has always maintained a champion's mindset, focusing on the process rather than the outcome. Process over outcome. That philosophy, which sounds simple and is extraordinarily difficult to actually live, is what produces the 87th minute intensity. Because if you are focused on the outcome, on winning the game, then 3-0 in the 87th minute means the outcome is secured. You can relax, the work is done. But if you are focused on the process, on the quality of every single moment of engagement with the game, then 3-0 in the 87th minute means there are still 3 minutes of process left. 3 minutes where your quality and your intensity can either be what they need to be or fall short. De Paul never lets them fall short, because for him the process is the point, not the scoreline. And now I want to speak directly to you, because I think De Paul's psychology contains 3 lessons that apply to every single person watching this. The first is about the last game philosophy. Whatever task is in front of you today, treat it as if it is the last opportunity you will ever have to do it. Not because it actually is, but because that framing, tomorrow's task is the last one, eliminates the temptation to coast, to do less than your best, because there will always be another chance. There may not be. Treat every opportunity as the last one, and then give it everything. The second is about the 87th minute. Most people switch off when the result looks secure, when the project is nearly finished, when the meeting is almost over. De Paul stays fully present through every minute of every game, including the minutes when the outcome is already apparent. That commitment to full presence through the entire duration of any task, not just the difficult parts, is one of the most valuable professional habits available to any human being. The third is about collective motivation. Stop performing only for yourself. Find something, a team, a community, a cause, a group of people whose experience of the outcome actually matters to you, and let your motivation for them supplement your motivation for yourself, because the motivation that comes from genuinely caring about what your performance means to other people is more sustainable and more intense than any purely individual motivation available. Rodrigo De Paul is not the most famous player in Argentina's squad. He has never been. He is the heartbeat, the one who sets the tone, the one whose energy spreads to every player around him, the one who thumps the ball into the stands in the 87th minute when Argentina are winning 3-0, and barks the mantra at a young teammate who thought the work was done. Because for De Paul, the work is never done until the final whistle, and sometimes not even then. The greatest pain is that we couldn't bring the World Cup back to our country. Because if anyone deserved to experience that feeling again, it was all of you. That sentence, said after the biggest disappointment of his career, to the fans, not about himself. That is the indefatigable psychology. The psychology of someone who runs for others as much as for himself, and who will never stop running. Subscribe to PsyWealth, Richie. Share this with someone who needs to be reminded that the most important moments are the ones that happen when nobody thinks they matter anymore. We will see you in the next one.